Hey, it's Elizabeth here, and welcome back to flip number 29. I really hope that that's the correct number because sometimes I video these things and I say the wrong number and then I have to video them all over again. So I think it's 29. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. And this is where we left off, where my kids had gone for a 3-day weekend up to Orlando, Florida to go to Rock the Universe at Universal Studios. So they had a wonderful time, and I was so thankful that they had a great time and that they arrived home safely. I was missing them that weekend. And so here we are, weekend recap. My husband and I actually spent the weekend in the Keys while the kids were gone. So he's so cute. My husband's so cute. He doesn't look like this poor dude here, but he is such a cutie. Oh, so weekend recap. So he and I spent the weekend in the Keys alone, and that was nice. And he says to me, I'm sorry we weren't able to go out on the boat today, honey. And I'm like, that's okay, babe. You got me glue sticks. I'm happy. It does not take me much. Let me tell you guys, it does not take much to excite me, okay? So yeah, we didn't go out in the boat. We weren't feeling all that great, but we did run errands and everything. And I said, you know what, honey, I really need glue sticks. So, so that was our trip for the day. We went to the office supply store and picked up glue sticks. And then we came home. This was a Sunday. So we came home on a Sunday, and it says, while the mice were away, the cats did play. So usually it says while the cat's away, the mice will play, like the little kitties. When the parents are gone, the kitties will play. Well, this was the opposite because the kitties were gone and we, the cats, were playing. So yeah, Big Handsome took me out for a spin in Sunshine Super Coupe, and yeah, 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. This was me in the car. I was like, And yeah, so Big Handsome's been grounded and his keys have been taken away from him. So yeah, then while we were gone this weekend, just an impromptu trip to the tattoo artist, because that's what everybody does. Yeah, so I'd been wanting to get a tattoo on my inner arm, my inner right arm, on my bicep. And so I got that. And this is what it says right here. It is my anniversary date in Roman numerals. And it was so funny because I thought to myself, as I'm looking at it in the mirror, I thought, when I'm 80, this tattoo is going to be in the shape of a smile. So it's really a win-win because it's my anniversary. So happy anniversary, even when I'm 80 and my arm is sagging and the thing's going to be in a smiley face. Oh gosh, I know I crack myself up. And then this day here was September 14th, and I was missing my ma. She had passed away back in 2012 on this day, September 14th, and it's been 3 years. And this is a picture of my mom and dad, one of my favorite pictures. They had come down before she had the surgery that had really messed her up for the rest of her life, unfortunately. But it was such a fun time that we had. We took them out on the boat and we went fishing, and that was actually on Christmas Eve. So that's what we do on Christmas Eve in South Florida. We go fishing. It's normal. So yeah, so I was missing my mom that day. It was Monday, so I have a busy day. Mondays and Wednesdays are always busy. So I had laundry to do, I had math to do, we had biology to do. My son is also taking a literature and cinema class with his homeschool co-op, and so we were watching To Kill a Mockingbird. And then my father-in-law took my son out. I guess he wanted to go run errands or something, and my son wanted to go practice his driving, so I put the two together, and I said, yeah, Papa, you go with my son and, with grandson and go have fun. So yeah, so there they are practicing driving, and he did a good job. My son did a good job. So that was that day. And then on this day, I hadn't quite lost my mojo again, but I was just not feeling all that great. So what I did was, this was the Tangle It prompt. So creatively, Amy did some, the little squares and showed us some examples of patterns that we could do. So I did some patterns along the side. And then I just did this. It was the Letter It September prompt. And so what I actually did, I kind of cheated on this one. Don't tell anyone. But what I did was I really liked this font, right? But because my hands don't work all that well sometimes, and I'm just, quite honestly, I'm not a patient person. And so what I ended up doing was I printed this in this font on my computer, and then I went to the font color and made it light gray, like the lightest gray that I could make it to where I could still see it on the paper, but it was, but I could still trace over it. So that's what I did. All of this was actually printed out on my printer in gray, and then I took my pens and just traced it, So I thought it came out cool, and I like it. And I did the same thing with this here too. I did the same thing. I found a little border thing and I put it light gray, recolored it and printed it out as well, and then traced it out with my pens. And you know what? I think it came out cute, and it also helps with my hand coordination. So I'm all for it. And then this day here was, what's it called? The Whimsical Wednesday from my sweet sister Lynn. And it was something about fall. It was like, how does fall make you feel, or what are your favorite things about fall? I live in South Florida. I've told you 100 times. We don't have fall. And I would love fall, I think. And I love fall colors. These are like my favorite colors. The burnt oranges and burnt reds and burnt yellows. Those are my favorite colors in the world. As you can tell, I mean, the pillow in the background is brown. My bed cover, my duvet cover is red. My walls are yellow, like a burnt yellow color. I love red, green, and gold kind of colors with oranges and all that. So I decided that day I didn't really feel like writing, so I did just a collage about fall and fragrances. I love fall colored or fall smelling candles, like spicy and all of that. I don't like sweet candles, but I like the spicy candles, the candles that smell spicy and warm. That's what I like. So that's what I did for that page. Excuse me. And then here I got a lovely, I'll cover her stuff there. Yeah, I'll just go like that. There we go. I got a sweet, what's it called? Happy Mail. I got Happy Mail from Miss Debbie right here, or not right here on YouTube, but on the Fobonichi Journalers group. She sent me a little Happy Mail that had some really cute cards, and actually this card right here is from the Happy Mail that she sent me, this one. And so that was really sweet. And then on Thursday was a prompt. And it was really kind of like, I think the actual prompt, I always change the prompts, like whatever I feel like doing. So, but I think it was favorite songs from your childhood, possibly. And so I'm an 80s kid. So I put, instead of favorite songs, because I can't remember the names of the songs. Like if I hear the songs, I'm like, oh yeah, I love that song. It's from Journey or whatever. But I can't remember the actual names of the songs. So here are some of my favorite bands that I enjoyed during that time. And I still enjoy today. Journey and Foreigner and Bryan Adams, loved him. REO Speedwagon, loved them. Richard Marx, that was my husband on our first date took me to a Richard Marx concert at our local zoo, an outdoor, concert. So I liked him. And Phil Collins, I've always loved Phil Collins. Fleetwood Mac, Tracy Chapman, loved her, still do. Chicago, the Eagles, love the Eagles, love them. Led Zeppelin, I loved Led Zeppelin when I was in high school, and Pink Floyd, the Eurythmics, love them. Bon Jovi, U2, Queen, Don Henley. So yeah, it was kind of an eclectic mix. Some rock bands, some, pop music, I guess they call it. And then here was the thunk trunk. So the question was, if I borrow £1,000,000, am I a millionaire? Because the gal that does the thunk trunks, she's, I believe she's British. And so she, instead of it saying $1,000,000, it was £1,000,000. So I just thought that was kind of funny because I would never borrow £1,000,000. I have enough pounds of my own. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to fit through the door. And then would that make me a millionaire? So if I borrowed $1,000,000, would I then be a millionaire? And no, I wouldn't be, because it wouldn't be my money. So yeah, there's that. And then I must have been having just a slightly bad day at the end of the day. So yeah, there's my angry poo. That's what I felt like, angry poo. And so yeah, I need to learn to just let things go so I can stop feeling like this pile of poo. Everyone's not as anal as me. And yeah, I guess it's subconsciously the pun was intended. But yeah. I'm very particular, and my husband's very particular, and yeah, not everyone is as particular and anal as we are, and so I have to keep that in mind. Yeah, I won't get into all that, but you know, it's the little things that just irritate the crap out of me sometimes, you know? Like, I'll go into the kitchen and there are crumbs on the counter. It's like, seriously, the person who used the toaster didn't notice the crumbs on the counter and didn't think about wiping them up. And, you know, or, you know, things are in the sink, you know, that need to be washed. And so someone will eat a bowl of cereal and then wash their bowl and their spoon and leave everything else in the sink. It's like, seriously? Are you kidding me? I'm not talking about my children, and I'm not talking about my husband, because we would never do that kind of thing, because we just don't do that. But anyway, there it is. There's the story. And yeah, so I need to stop being an angry poo-poo head. Oh my gosh. And this here was the 5 on Friday. So it was using a map and using the colors of your country that you live in, so red, white, and blue, because I live in the US, and open hands, not closed fists was the September prompt. And then, yeah, we had to like use the colors of our flag and things like that. So I had this old airmail thing that I turned into a pocket, and it was something like do something with travel. So I had this old you know, flashcard in there. And then also in the pocket, this was the day my daughter received her very first paycheck. So she was very thrilled about that, very happy about it. So I photocopied it and stuck it in here just so I could have it. And she'll, oops, oh, that needs to be glued now, doesn't it? So yeah, she'll always have it and, you know, be able to remember her very first paycheck. So I'm very proud of her for that. And so, yeah, I guess I'll just stop here on this flip through. And I thank you so much for joining me and listening to my ramblings. And I hope y'all have a great day. And I'll see you on the next flip. Thanks.